Okay, so normally, and this is the final stage, by the way, just to put that out there, the final stage of the systems development lifecycle, finally. Normally, there's documentation produced for a system, and there's two types. We have the user guide, and then let me split the page down the middle. The technical guide. Oh, could help if I could spell technical. Yeah, that's right. I swear downright, in real life, I'm a really good speller. Like, no, obviously I'm not being big-headed about it. That's a bit weird, but I like to think I can spell words properly. But anytime I press the record button, I just come across as stupid. Anyway, so the user guide, of course, hence the name, is intended for the user. Intended for the user. Of course, user guide intended for the user, of course. So we're going to be needing a, suitable language. And yeah, it needs to contain sufficient, and some of the things it will contain, it's going to be instructions on how to do a task. This video is going to probably, it looks like it's really laggy when I'm writing, but that's probably because I'm trying to upload the video at the same time. Instructions on how to do a task. Good practice when using the system. When using system. Of course, such as backing up, backing up and security of the data, how to protect the data. Forgot the of. Should have a sort of error message help. Obviously, if you get an error message which has a certain code, like you get error 202 or whatever, or you can on the HTTP protocol you can have error 404, which means the page doesn't exist. And so obviously that's the classic one people always remember. So only generally people with sort of knowledge of computers know what 404 means. So that'll contain sort of an error lookup, so error message lookup. Error message lookup and help, of course. Sort of like troubleshooting. Of course, troubleshooting, because people like to shoot the trouble. Next, we're going to move on to the technical guide, and obviously this is, intended for, and this one's maybe a bit more obscure, to be fair, for people who will maintain the system. So, once it's been installed, and note this. Where's me colour? Right. Note that it's not always person who produced system. Person / s. Persons who created the system. Generally it's handed over and someone will be trained. So I can pretty much guarantee, maybe if you're in college or a school or something, a company will have installed the network in your school, but then another, they might have trained staff in your school to manage the network, or they may have brought in another company, but it generally won't be the people who have installed it. So uh, obviously this, computer literate people. And let's see. It's going to include, of course, let's get back into the flow of things. It's going to include names of um, names of identifiers in the program, subroutines, which we'll get into in F452, what the code does. Let's see. The reason you need to put this is obviously if the person needs to change the identifier, it'll call stop cross-referencing referencing. So obviously, if you were to create a new variable in the system, or the person who's maintaining it was to create a new variable in the system and call it, generic variable or something like that, and it had the same, variable name as something else, it obviously causes conflicting sort of information. Let's see. It might include data flow diagrams. I'm gonna abbreviate that because I cannot be bothered writing that out. And systems flowcharts. KFC again. Jesus Christ! Except this time it's 10 to 5 in the morning, so obviously I'm probably not going to get a KFC right now, but systems flowcharts, data flow diagrams to represent algorithms, and I'm sure you can think of others by yourself. I just want to give you one quick tip though in the exam. If your mind goes completely blank, and this is like a little top tip, top exam tip, and it just goes to show personally how, like, I just think that OCR is stupid because of this. Like, the deduct marks on other questions, they don't deduct marks, but they don't allow certain things on some questions, but they allow things like this on this question. And yeah, so say if your mind goes blank and you get a question on documentation, what's included in either of them? Literally, I'm just going to call this hack in exam. This is a little hack you can use to gain marks. If your mind goes blank, just say that there is a contents page. Yes, they will allow and they will give a mark for contents page. Believe it or not, contents page, index page. I'm surprised they don't even give a mark, title page, but no, that's not one. OCR are generally, they put in those sort of marks just so you can, it's crazy. It's just that I think it's complete nonsense how they can give away marks like that. But say if you were to use a different word in a certain, question, they wouldn't give you the mark. Which is, yeah, it's the way OCR work. Logic. And another example, I'm on a bit of a rant. Obviously, if you've needed to know what you need to know from this video, feel free to exit. But in F452, if you've studied the course, they don't allow for you to use I or N in your loops. If you were to do a for loop, you're not allowed to use I or N. They count that as bad programming for future maintenance, basically. So they don't allow I or N, but yet when they give you a piece of code, an extract of code, pseudocode or whatnot, they specifically use I or N. Like, I've seen it in past exam papers in F452, and I'm sure others will have seen it, that they purposely give us algorithms with I or N in it, and then they disallow us to use them, and it's just stupid. You just, oh god. I'm sorry, like I say, I'm on a bit of a rant. It is 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm getting a bit, getting a bit tired. The exam's on Monday, but I'm not worrying, and hopefully you guys shouldn't be. Of course, if it's after the exam and you're watching these videos, then don't get as stressed as everyone else does about these exams. You'll be fine. As long as you study for them, you'll be fine. So, thanks for watching, guys. This has been the systems development lifecycle with me, Kieran. And yes, we finally finished it. I'm glad to say we finally finished the systems development lifecycle. We've got another topic coming up a bit later on, implications of computer use. Again, another completely pointless topic to be in computing, because if I really needed to know about the ethical implications of computer use, I'd go and study like something to do with ethics, of course. But who knows? Anyway, see you in the next video, guys.